Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Let's homeschool together. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Sarah and I am the mom to 3 kids ages 6, 4, and a baby. Today's video will be about how to start homeschooling in California. So here in California, there's not exactly a homeschool option, but there are different ways in which you can actually homeschool. And today I'll be talking about the most common ones. So if you watched my past video, you'll know that this is my first time homeschooling and all this information is information that I've just researched and is new to me. So the first option we'll be talking about is homeschooling through a charter school. So the way this works is that you would enroll your child in a charter school, and instead of your child attending a physical school, you'd actually choose the home study option. Depending on the charter school, some charter schools will give you the curriculum that you would use throughout the year, or others would actually have a list of vendors and you can choose your own curriculum. This gives you the flexibility to choose which books your kids will be learning from. Being part of a charter school gives you access to a teacher whom you'd meet at the beginning of the year to create a learning plan for your child. Then you would meet with this teacher once a month to track the progress of your child, and you can ask this teacher any questions if you have any, and this teacher can also provide you any resources that you might need. You would also have to track the number of minutes your child does physical education because there's a specific number that you have to meet. And you would also have to provide work samples from your student for the teacher to review. Also, by being part of a charter school, you have access to special funds which you can use to either buy books, curriculum, or any school supplies that your child might need. All children enrolled in public schools have educational funds, but since your child would be doing a home study program, then the funds would follow the child, and that means that you would have access to choose how to use these funds. So if this is your first time homeschooling and you're interested in having that contact with an actual teacher, or maybe you're interested in the funds, then being enrolled in a charter school is probably right for you. You must know, however, that as of filming this video in July of 2020, Governor Newsom has just signed a bill that outlines the education finance for the next school year. This is Bill SB 98, and it thoroughly describes how money will be allocated throughout the school system. This affects charter schools because they will be given the same amount of funding based on what they were given for the last school year. What this means is that the funding that the charter schools receive this year might not be enough to accept any new homeschooling families. Because of the pandemic that we're in, it is predicted that many families will choose to homeschool for this following school year. And for those families who are interested in joining a charter school, there might not be enough funds to let them in. So if you're one of those families who is really interested in being part of the charter school option, I highly recommend that you find a charter school ASAP. From what I researched, charter schools are going on a first come, first served basis. So at this point, your chances of getting into a charter school are actually quite slim, but it's always worth a try. So if the particular charter school that you have chosen has already maxed out, the worst that can happen is that you go on wait list. And from there, hopefully a spot will open before school starts. So if you don't get into a charter school, don't worry. There are still other ways in which you can homeschool. Maybe you're not interested in the monthly check-ins, or you just simply want to homeschool your own way. Then you have to file a PSA, which stands for Private School Affidavit. To file a PSA, you'd have to go to the California Department of Education website, and I'll leave a link below. And this basically is that you are creating your own private school in your home. To file the PSA, you would have to choose a name for your school and also answer questions like how many children are attending and what is the address, which would actually be your home. Just know that there is a filing period for the PSA, which is from October 1st to October 15th. So that means that if you're planning to homeschool for the 2020-2021 school year, then you'd have to wait until October to file your PSA. If you file the PSA now, you're actually filing for the last school year, which is 2019-2020 school year. Of course, if you're homeschooling on your own, you don't have to wait until October to start homeschooling. You can start homeschooling anytime you'd like. By filing a PSA, it means you're your own private school, so you get to choose which days you want to homeschool, when you want to start, what curriculum you're going to use. Basically, you are in total control. It is important to know that you'd only file a PSA if your child is 6 years or older. So if your child is under 6 years old and this is your first time homeschooling and you don't want to be part of a charter, You do not need to file anything to legally start homeschooling in California. A PSA is only required for those kids who are 6 and above. So what if you have a child who was previously enrolled in another school? Then before either enrolling your child in a charter or filing the PSA, you'd actually have to officially withdraw your child from their current school. I'll also link a sample letter that you can use to officially withdraw your child from public school if they have attended. You would simply fill out the template with your child's information and send it via certified mail to either your school principal or the school district. This is something you would have to research on your own based on where you live. If you want to start homeschooling your child but filing a PSA might sound scary to you, don't let that stop you because luckily we live in an era where information is so easily available to us. There are so many resources online that you can use to your advantage. And something very important I almost forgot to mention is that you do not need to be a certified teacher or have any type of teaching credentials in order to teach your child. Also, I want to add that if you choose to take this route and file a PSA, make sure to keep attendance records and a list of what curriculum you will be using and also a course of study, which is basically an outline for what your homeschool year is going to look like. All these records are actually for yourself, because in my research so far, I haven't come across anyone saying that someone came knocking on their door asking for this information. I do think it's a good idea to maintain such records to keep your homeschool organized and also if you're interested in tracking your child's progress. Another way you can homeschool is through a PSP, and that stands for Private Satellite Program. These are private schools that you can enroll your child in, and they offer a home study program. Some might even offer in-person instruction for a day or two a week. By homeschooling through a PSP, you'd have to follow their guidelines, and that's something that is specific to each school. So by now, you have all this information thrown at you, and if you just started your homeschool research, I know it can be a bit overwhelming and confusing to follow. This is also my first time homeschooling, so I too have so many questions, and every day I keep on looking for information so I can be prepared as best as I can for this following school year. I have made some charts that will hopefully help you determine what best fits your family situation. Also keep in mind that each family dynamic is different, so the way that somebody else homeschools might not fit with how you envision your own homeschool. Lucky for you, homeschool allows that flexibility where you can make modifications that best fit your family. So to recap, if your child is 5 and under, you can try to get into a charter school and enroll in their kindergarten program. Or homeschool completely on your own where you can design a learning environment that best works for you and your child. And it is very important that you know that you do not need to file anything because the law in California only requires children 6 and above to be enrolled somewhere. Kindergarten or preschool is not legally required in California, so don't worry if your child isn't enrolled somewhere at this time. You can, however, start teaching your children at home at whatever age you feel they are ready. If your child is 6 and over, you can also try to join a charter or enroll in a PSP and follow their requirements. Or you can also do it on your own and file a PSA on October. You do not have to wait until October to start your homeschool year. October is just when the filing period opens. Lastly, if your child is still enrolled in a school, just send a letter of withdrawal before you start to homeschool to officially leave the school and so your child isn't marked truant whenever that school starts. So that's it for today. Hopefully this information helps. I know it's a lot to process if this is your first time thinking about homeschool. But like anything else that you try and is completely new to you, you just have to keep on learning and find the answers to your questions. Remember to subscribe if you want to see how we start our homeschool journey, and also leave a comment so I could get to know you as well. If you, like me, are new to homeschool, what are you most excited or scared about? And if you're an experienced homeschool mom, what tips can you share? Or if you're neither, you can just say hello and subscribe to witness this journey. I will be uploading weekly videos to share my story with you. Thanks for watching, and let's homeschool together.